Now they lost it on the 40 acres on campus grounds. We gather round, discussing goals and dreams and life's adventures. The Texas Longhorns, they the talk of the town. High castles of the 40 acres, where we dive deep into the game day stories. From touchdowns to heartbreakers, we discuss it all. Texas Longhorns glory. There we gather round each Thursday night, talking sports, it's so alright. From football to basketball, baseball to softball, Tim Wayne and Irish, we cover it all. Sports talk is our passion, our delight. Thursday night at 8:30, we unite. We discuss the scores, the plays, the teams you might. Let's dive into the game, let's ignite.
12 conference champions.
Yo, what up, what up, what up? Oh my God, Tim Wayne, we were just so close to seeing something crazy. Reese Atwood almost just hit a 2-run homer.
Jeez.
Barely foul, barely foul, barely foul.
Oh.
Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa. What's up,
Dude.
you guys? Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast on a potential national championship night. Can Texas baseball Texas softball get over the side? And oh my gosh, they are not. They are right there. For those of you guys not watching, first off, shame on you. Well, unless you're like hanging out with family. Second, just to kind of give you an update. Top of the fourth, men on first. It is 0-0. Another pitching duel between Najee Kennedy and all the Longhorn softball pitchers tonight. So we'll keep you guys updated. Of course, for those of you guys that don't know, we're the Texas Longhorn Podcast. My name is Harish. This is my guy Tim Wayne. Tim Wayne, how's it going, man? How you doing?
Pick that mic up so we can hear you, brother.
Pick it up. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay. Listen,
Yeah.
I'll hold it just like this.
Yes, thank you.
What's up?
It helps us out a lot.
What's up?
But yes,
How you
man,
doing, man?
I'm good. We are so close. We're so close to just everything coming back. Football is around the corner. We're in the dog days, but we're there. We got college football coming up first. You know, we haven't. This is the second year in a row after over a decade hiatus that we're getting college football. It looks like it's going to be better than what it was the first year. They've added on a lot of the stuff that us Dynasty fans want, and we'll be able to talk about it. So I'm excited and ready to go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Real quick question for you.
Yeah.
And I was gonna actually ask you this. We'll talk about college football 26. Of course, we know that it was revealed this week. I think one of the questions that I had, and actually I'm stalling on the question because I forgot what it was. So anyway, I forgot the question. I had a thought, and then that thought escaped me. So I'm just gonna keep moving on with my life as if like nothing happened. And if I come back to it, we'll talk about it here in a second. So let's go ahead and get started. Fanbattlesports.com, where you can get the latest and greatest from the AFC South, including the Colts, the Texans, the Cow.
I know you didn't say the Cowboys.
What is just happening, bro? The Jaguars and the Titans. Fanbattlesports.com. Of course, do all the stuff. Joining if you're on TikTok, smash the like button. Oh my gosh, Texas just got runners on the corners. Oh, that's what I was going to talk to you about because I just saw her.
Okay.
Do you know the story about Mia Scott? Third baseman for the
dude,
Texas
her ACL's torn?
She's playing with the torn ACL, and she is a demon.
Bro, she's a dog.
She is a demon, bro. Bro, did you see the plays that she's making? Like yesterday, bases loaded in the first inning. She pulls that double play.
Yep.
With the bases loaded to keep the score 2-0. She's on base right now. She just ran from first to third with the torn ACL on a single. Like
it's not partially torn. It's completely torn, correct?
Yeah. That's what I understand. I understand it's completely torn. It is a completely torn ACL.
Oh my god.
Yeah, she's a demon, bro. So shout out to Mia Scott,
It's
and
bro.
yeah, shout out to Mia Scott. Texas does not score though with me on third, 0-0 heading to the middle of the fourth. In there. So that's what I was gonna say earlier. Anyway, fanbattlesports.com. Also follow us on Twitter, follow us on TikTok.
Yes,
Smash
sir.
the likes, tap the screen as fast as you can, as much as you can on the TikTok screen. We'd really appreciate it.
Yep.
The more likes that come in, the more people that pay attention to us. So we'd really appreciate that.
Yep.
And then if you're on the YouTubes, of course, like, comment, subscribe. If you're not on the YouTube, get there. Like, comment, subscribe down below. We will have the chat running throughout the day or the show. But Tim, let's get right into it. Let's talk about college football 26.
Hold on. I want to say one thing about Mia Scott.
Yeah, go.
If they indeed win the national championship, Mia Scott will be the greatest Longhorn softball player ever.
No.
Yes. 3-time USA Softball Collegiate Player of the Year, top 50 watch list, 1-time Softball Collegiate Player of the Year finalist, softball All-American Star of the Week, All-American preseason first team All-American, All-American preseason top 10, top 100, 2-time All-American second team, 1-time All-American postseason top 100, softball American postseason third base ranking number 4, SEC softball tournament appearance, that's 1, Phillips 66 Big 12 championship all tournament team in 2022, second team All-American in 2025, all Central second team 2022, 2023, all first team 2025, NCAA team in 2024, D1 second team. Like I can keep going. Accolades alone.
I got 2 words for you, brother.
Who?
Cat Osterman.
Oh, shit. Okay. All right.
I love Mia Scott, man.
Yeah, you got it.
And you know what? 2 years down from now, Cat Osterman might get unseated as the best softball player of all time, by Keegan Tavon.
Yeah, we got some real good talent, man. Listen,
We got a lot of
this is Mia's last go round. So like
a lot of ladies last. I think this is Reese Atwood's last go around.
Yeah.
This is the team that's gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Now, does it start something special like a little run? Oh no, man! There's a lot of really good softball teams out there.
It is.
And I don't know. That would be crazy, but they've got some young talent coming in. If this team wins, they also will go into next year with a lot of experience, right? Because last year, I think Mike White was talking about this earlier. Last year was a young team.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was a young team, and that team has learned a lot from that experience, and they're showing it. Like after last night, there's some teams have what we like to call aura, right? This team has aura, brother.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Man, this team has got some.
You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that, and then we can move on from this. They have been put in some really, really tough situations, and unlike the men's baseball team, they have been able to rally.
Yeah.
And it's like there's been some real situations, and we haven't really been able to cover. We haven't really covered it, and that's to our detriment. Listen, it's really hard to watch all of this stuff and be married and actively dating and doing all this stuff. It's really, really difficult to do all this. So we try to catch up with what we can. But they have been not, because they've only had 13 losses this year. So they've looked for the majority of the year really, really good and been able to come out of some really, really difficult situations. So it has been to the point to where even yesterday I was like, they had some opportunities to really, take over, but they didn't. And they were still able to come out on top. And that was what mattered. Again, an egregious call in the game yesterday. Can't believe that they even called that.
I don't understand that rule.
Me neither. I'm not going to
know it. I don't even know what it means.
I won't pretend to even know it. I just know that from what was explained, it did not make sense.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go into detail because I don't want to be wrong. So, if there's some baseball guys out there that want to explain, or some softball guys out there that want to explain, what happened last night,
Yeah.
please go ahead. By all means, please fill us in, let us know. But some of the calls last night were questionable.
I
And
think on both sides though. I think they're umping in this like the again like the umping, the whatever you want to call it, the refereeing, like in sports in general is like not very good right now.
no,
We
no, no,
go to
no.
the fifth inning, so we're getting close. But we'll you know what? I have somebody in mind that I want to bring on the show
Okay,
after the season. I'll
okay,
reach out to her
okay.
and see if she wants to join us. And she's a Keegan Kavan stan. So
Gotcha. Okay, let's
it'll
do
be
it.
good to bring her on.
Yes, for sure.
At some point, we'll also have we'll wrap up the baseball season. Look at the transfer portal because when it comes to baseball and softball, we know nothing, guys. We are casuals,
Yeah, we are very
right?
much casual.
We are the t-shirt fans of
Right,
that sport, those sports.
right.
So we'll bring in some experts. We'll talk about that stuff. But real quick, high level, Tim,
Yep.
quickly, and then we'll dive into it. What were your thoughts on the college football 26 trailer?
Really liked it. They've polished up the game, and that's what I wanted. Right. There's a lot of things that a lot of people are complaining about. As far as like, oh well, you only it's only going to be x. It's only going to be x amount of games in high school. So listen, nobody needs to play a full season of high school. Like nobody needs to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody needs to do that. You get the high school experience if you're able or lucky to create your own high school colors and utilize some type of like logo. Cool. Be
Yep.
be be glad with that. Like again, 10 years. It's been 10 plus years since the release of this football game. And we're getting it for a consecutive year after a decade plus long situation, or a decade plus the last release. So give it an opportunity to let them polish the game up, let them reintroduce high school, and then let them build off of that. This stuff takes time, and they're pumping out games in record amounts of time. Like I don't think, and again, I kind of talk about this, I feel like regularly now, where I don't think people realize how much a studio or how fast a studio has to work to get the next game out. Because if you think about it from this standpoint, we're 31 days from the early release of the game.
Yep.
We got 31 days, right? Once that game drops, they're gonna take a break, which is literally like maybe 2 weeks to a month. And really, what they're trying to do is get as much information and scheduling down for content and updates and all this stuff out. And then they have to start again from scratch.
Yep.
That only gives them 11 months. That's less than a year. So let's pump the
Yep.
brakes. Let's pump the brakes. I know you guys want a full season of high school. Some of y'all, I've heard even some of y'all be like, "Oh, you should be able to play freshman through your entire high school career."
Yeah.
Dog, chill out on that, bro. In high school, you're playing 8 games max. If you go to the playoffs, you might get double digits. Outside of that, you're not really doing much. So chill and let them do what they do.
Let's be honest with ourselves, all right? Like when they brought out Road to Glory last year, I wasn't upset that high school wasn't in the game. It was cool back in the day because I was a kid. It gave me something to do. At the end of the day, this is called college football 26,
Facts.
not high school to college football 26. This is just part of an experience.
Right.
I, listen, and you and I, like when it comes to like things like this, we don't agree a lot, and that's just because like you look at like the fan side of a lot of things, and I try to look at like the practical side of a lot of things, right? And like to
Mhm.
me, practically, it makes no sense to even like having 5 games is a luxury in my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, I'm
Right?
1,000. I think we
No,
both agree.
not in everything, but like
Yeah.
in most things. Like we'll talk like when we talked about like you were upset about the spring game. Like to me, I was just like, oh okay, well that makes a lot of sense. Like I get it. right?
Right.
But then I
Yeah.
saw both sides of the spectrum, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm
Yeah.
looking at the same thing here. But what I'm saying is like I don't care about the high school games. That's not what I bought this game for.
We bought it to play Dynasty.
Yeah, I didn't buy this game to go play, 5 meaningless games that I'm never gonna touch again, right? Like, I get the quote unquote immersion as we go to the bottom of the fifth. I get the immersion, but I don't care at the end of the day. I really don't.
I feel that.
Um,
Honestly, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. That's not the first thing I'm doing anyway. That's not the mode that I'm that's the least that's the least that's the least of my problems. That's the least that I'm not really I'm not worried about that. Am I going to play it? Absolutely. I don't know if I'm gonna finish it. I haven't finished my Road to Glory.
I was about to ask you,
I haven't
have you
finished.
even touched the Road to Glory this year?
I played Road to Glory the first 4 to 6 weeks of the game.
Yeah,
Well, and then we started playing in the dynasty. We started playing in the dynasty. Things
yep,
got way more interesting. I
yeah.
stopped playing. I stopped playing it. I haven't even thought about going back. I've transferred like 4 times in one season, or in 4 times in 4 seasons. So like, no, I don't. No, and I still don't care. I'm like, I can be completely okay with not finishing out the Road to Glory in this
Yep,
year's game.
yep.
I'm okay with that. It was
No,
fun. This is a shell of a game. This is a base game. I love it. I still play it. I played it when I got home from work. Played
yep.
2 matches. Been playing Ultimate Team. Love Ultimate Team. Way more rewarding than Madden Ultimate Team. So yeah, I've been playing the game religiously.
Yeah. Real quick in the TikTok chat, Inglewood Bree, #1 gifter badge. I appreciate it. And then also BJ Ironside sent us a heart me ×1. My guy
Appreciate
BJ
that.
Ironside. Thank you
Appreciate that,
so
guy.
much, sir. You
Yeah.
guys over there in TikTok, smash the likes. We
Appreciate that.
appreciate the
Appreciate
support.
that big money. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir. But yeah, no. I haven't touched Road to Glory. Didn't even
Mm-hmm.
sniff it. Haven't even sniffed it. I don't even think I hit the option on the main menu to Road to Glory.
Mm-hmm.
I just had it.
I think what people are wanting is they're I won't even call them casual fans. I will call them hardcore fans. I think people want all of the stuff that they had back then now immediately, and it doesn't work like that because again, there's so much money being thrown around, and we haven't even gotten to the meat and potatoes of this thing. But there's so much money being thrown around, and so many like something's got to give, and you got to give things an opportunity to be built back up.
Yeah.
Again, we are in a situation where a game has been gone for 10 plus years. We are now back on the up and up of these things. So let's give an opportunity. Let's give that team an opportunity to build on what they have here.
Games the last time before this last year, right? Before last year, games cost probably on average probably like $100,000 to $150,000 a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Games now cost $20 to $30 million.
Yep.
Actually, it's probably not that high. It's somewhere between like let's just say
No,
$5 to $10 million on average to
if you
make
take
a game.
right, if you take in the cost of development, if you're taking the cost of paying the development team, marketing, the marketing team, social media, all of that wrapped up into one, right? That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
That is a lot of money that that is being spent. And so, you can't. And again, with us working in the video game industry, it makes more sense to us. But again, we've been in there 10 plus years to have an understanding. The casual fans do not understand.
That's just like the outside looking in. So I looked it up. On average today, like an indie game, on average is $50,000 to $200,000. Triple A games can exceed $50 million due to their complexity and scale.
Would you consider college football a AAA title now?
Hell yeah. Heck yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Anything that EA makes is considered AAA because of who EA is and the scale of that organization, right?
Right.
That like their company is a large scale company. You think about it. Yes,
Mhm.
college football is a domestically popular game, but
Mhm.
last year it became a worldwide game because of its newness and its refresh back into gaming, right?
Right.
There's a lot of and football in general is trying to become international. American
Mhm.
football is. So I think as time goes along, I think it becomes more and more international. And so when you
Yeah.
talk about scale, like
Mhm.
that's what they have to plan for now. Like Road to Glory is not going to get some guy in the UK interested in college football 26. I'm just going to be honest with you. Like
Yeah.
that's not what the game is built off of. The game's core is built off of the dynasty mode. It's
Yeah.
always been off the dynasty mode.
Yeah.
It's
No,
been the
1000%.
bread and butter of the game and the presentation,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah, I mean, overall, I think I'm really excited about the game and where it's at.
Mhm.
We'll know more probably next week is when the deep dives will start. My guess is next week is going to be presentation or gameplay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Then we'll probably either get presentation or dynasty. Then we'll get ultimate team. Then we'll get the presentation piece. And then guess what will be last? Probably Road to Glory.
I can
And the
also
game launches.
I can also see them touching on Road to Glory very quickly and then not addressing it ever
I
again.
think they'll touch on it like in gameplay aspects, right? Like, hey, and to improve the gameplay in Road to Glory, we've done this, right?
Right. Right.
But the Road to Glory deep dive probably won't occur until might be one of the last things they talk about.
Right.
Right. So, real quick, a new thing that's in college football 26 head coaches.
Yep.
Over 300 head coaches are now in the game. You ask, well, Tim Wayne and Harish, what 300? There's not even 300 head coaches in college football. You are absolutely correct. There are not. And I think for the first time ever in a game, period, whether it be college, the NFL, anything, right? We have never, ever, ever, ever seen assistant coaches, real assistant coaches in the game.
Mhm.
This is going to be the first time that you'll be able to play with or have a Kyle Flood on your staff,
Yeah.
or to have um, an actual assistant coach on your staff, offensive and defensive coordinator only so far,
Right.
right? If we're talking about true immersion, I think as they continue to expand on Dynasty, I would love for that to be like, hey, you get to pick a running back coach, and that running back coach can increase your running back specific trait.
Oh man.
Right?
I think we're headed in that direction.
I do
I really
too.
do.
I
We
think this
are.
is a start. This is the way these games are built, and I'll tell you this. Like, so they sit down and say, hey, this is what we want in a game, and in the project management world or whatever, they go out and they say, here's the feature that I want to build, and let's say that feature is called Road to Glory, right? Inside of that feature, they say these are all the things that I want, right? Well, you have time and you have money. You might say, I only have 4 developers to create this feature. So I have to break this up over the next 2 to 3 years into what is called an epic. And this
Mhm.
epic basically says, this is the name of the feature. Here's how we prioritize everything within this feature.
Mhm.
This year, we might say, I want to make sure that the Texas number 16 is white. I need to make sure the colors are good, right? Like that might be this year. Next year, you might expand on that and say, now that that's good, I want to make sure that we have more authentic helmets behind it, right? And that would be a next year feature. And so that's how these things work. That's how these things are built because you don't have an unlimited amount of development resources. They don't just say, here you go
Mhm.
make the game. Like that's not how this works. So
Yeah.
I think this is just the first iteration. Here's a picture of Steve Sarkisian and Arch Manning in the game.
Mhm.
Steve, this is what I'm talking about. So this year, so they might say, hey, we want head coaches in the game. Okay. And they say, okay, well, how do we get that? Well, this year we weren't able to get face scans. We want that for next year, right? Like we'll
Right.
start working on that for next year. But what we will do is create a 3D model based off of an image or something that we might get from Steve.
Right.
And that's what this is. This is the first iteration of bringing real life head coaches into the game.
Mhm.
Now you'll still get all his name, image, and likeness stuff,
Yeah.
Like his career stats, like what he's done in his career. Maybe like the trophy room will have stuff which is back in the game this year. Like
Yep.
his accolades will be there. Like that's the kind of stuff you'll get this year, and then next year you might add his face scan.
Hmm.
So, what are your thoughts, knowing that this is built from a 3D model and not a face scan? What are your thoughts on what you see?
Listen, to be completely honest, I'm okay with this. If this means that they're going to again continue to build off of it, I'm perfectly okay with it. And honestly, if they don't build off of it, but they still want to include and make sure that you are getting some authentic head coaches and assistants and coordinators in the game, I I don't see a problem with this. What we fail to realize is that you can't play with all 100 plus teams in the game or in a dynasty. So, you know, we should be really grateful and thoughtful about, thankful of the fact that we actually do happen to have these coaches and coordinators in the game because, if you're playing 30 seasons in a dynasty, 15 seasons in a dynasty, some of these coaches are going to go. Some of these coaches are going to go to the NFL. Some of these coaches are going to get fired. You're going to see coaches getting moved around.
Yep.
You never know. So these coaches aren't just sitting still. They're going to be moving parts and pieces of the game. So again, that's another small wrinkle in a game that we did not have before, and I'm looking forward to see how that plays out.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that, and I'm excited to see. There's some other stuff in this game that I think we'll deep dive into in the coming weeks. That I do want to deep dive into, but I think overall, I think we're really really excited. We'll see more and more stuff come out in the coming weeks, and we'll deep dive into them and talk about them as they come. Tim, what's so funny?
Man, it's just oh man, nothing, not this funny. Oh man,
Why are
I'll
you
tell you,
laughing at me?
huh?
Why are you laughing at me?
I'm sorry, Doug. I'm sorry.
That's messed up, man. Anyway, all right. Hey, Tim. The last thing I think we'll wrap it up here. There is state of Texas NIL stuff I do want to talk about, but I
Yes,
just thought about it.
absolutely.
I'm gonna reach out to Matt Brown and see if we can get him on and talk about this because this is his bread and butter.
Yeah,
Um, so I'll reach out to him. We'll see if we can get him on the show and we'll talk
the
about it.
pin. Yeah, we need Matt back.
Um,
It's been a
but
while.
I want to share something else real quick before we get out of here.
Mhm.
And this is just part of our preseason boredom, our off-season boredom train. So what the boredom train brought today is ESPN released their ESPN FPI. And for those of you guys that don't know what FPI means, to keep it very very simple, FPI is a combination of what your strength of schedule is in comparison to what ESPN or whoever makes these weird rankings think your roster can do from a what do you call it? What they think your roster can do from a what's the word I'm looking for? I totally blanked on the word. Potential from a potential
Yeah,
perspective. Yeah. Like
yeah.
potentially this is based off what your roster could do given the schedule that you have. Basically is what it is, right? It's just some weird formula.
Mm-hmm.
And you wanted to talk about this. First and
Yeah,
foremost, I'm surprised Texas is number one on this.
me too.
Uh and but I'm not mad at it, right? This
No.
shows me I do think the schedule is easy-ish comparatively so. Like
Mhm.
if you take a look at Florida, for example, who has a ungodly
They
schedule,
have a
right?
brutal schedule. Yeah.
You take a look at Alabama and Georgia's schedule, which I thought Alabama was number 3. Interestingly enough, again, there's some schools on here that I'm like, okay, well, you look at their schedule, but then you look at their roster. What on their roster makes you think that they're going to be number 3 or number 2 or number whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I found this really, really interesting. Give me your overall thoughts on this FPI as you look at it. And again, these are not rankings. These are
It's not
FPI.
rankings.
This is not
Yes,
rankings. So give me your thoughts.
this is a football power index. Again, Harish broke it down nicely there. Don't need to rehash what he's just said there. However, I do from a perspective, I think that like loosely looking at these things, I don't know, and again, it's gonna sound like I'm hating. I don't understand where you're getting A&M at number 8. I don't understand that. Uh, Again, Marcel Reed is going to be a special player. I don't know what they're going to be bringing back defensively. I don't necessarily know what they're going to be bringing back with wide receivers. They've had a ton of transfers leaving. And they did recruiting very well. They did recruit well. But just that alone, it just doesn't. So is this just based off of your schedule? Well, we know that's partially a part of it. But do you put that much emphasis on Marcel Reed? I don't know. Honestly, in Texas, Georgia, Texas being over Georgia, I don't know how I feel about that just because Texas hasn't beat Georgia.
Yeah, I think that's interesting too. And you know what? You can throw some of this into. There's a lot of hype on Arch Manning, right? We
It's a lot.
know this, right?
Yeah,
We know
we
this.
know. We
But
know.
even within that hype, Arch Manning, this is his first year starting. Like this is the first time Arch Manning will go into this year, and we will finally say he is the starter, right? We saw this with Quinn. We there's going to be bumps in the road this year with Arch Manning as the starter. He's not going to come in and be perfect.
Yep.
That is just unrealistic to expect. I don't think he expects that. I don't think Steve Sarkisian expects that. I don't think the Manning family expects that, right? Like it
Right.
is unrealistic to expect that he's just going to come in here and be a demon. Let's just be honest with ourselves. But
Mm-hmm.
and then the offensive line is a question. You lose 3 guys on the offensive line, specifically a top 10 pick at the most prime position on the offensive line.
Yep.
Like, and now I'm not saying Trevor Groosby isn't going to be fine. I think Trevor Groosby is going to be. That's probably the most solidified part of the offensive line.
Yes, I
I'm not.
agree.
That's the least part of the
1000%.
line I'm even concerned about. As Texas just hit a Tech batter, it is now 1-0 Tech. Bottom of the 5th. So 2 outs, and breaking news there. So we will wrap up quickly so we can finish this up because I do want to check out the end of this game.
Yes, sir.
Kind of in the same position we were in yesterday, right? It
Yeah.
happened on the top of the 6th yesterday. Now it's happening in the bottom of the 5th.
Right.
Very, very similar positions. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I just don't understand these FPIs, and this is why like rankings this early are just so weird to me.
It's all talking points and it's clickbait.
Yep.
And listen, I like to talk about it because it gives us something to do. Again, we are in the top of June. We got July coming around the corner. And then after July, we're in the thick of things. We get through, a couple of weeks of NFL preseason. College football starts right back up earlier than what we expected, with all of the playoff expansions and things of that nature. So we're right in that, in the thick of it. We're right in the meat of that dog days there, the dog days of summer. And
Yep.
once we get past, I think we get past June and we head into July, everything kind of transitions a little bit better from there.
Yeah, for sure. A&M at number 8. I just pulled up A&M schedule, Tim. You ready?
Yep.
And you can just quickly say W or L just so we go through it, just based on what you're thinking today.
Okay.
All right. To start off with, they get a UTSA.
W.
Utah State.
W.
At Notre Dame.
Loss.
And that's a night game confirmed.
Loss.
Versus Auburn at home.
Loss.
Versus Mississippi State.
W.
Florida at home.
Loss.
That's tricky to me.
DJ Lagway is coming back with a vengeance. I think DJ Lagway is going to be in the race for the Heisman this year. Even with that tough schedule, he's going to be in the race for the Heisman. It may be a Jaden Daniels situation where he might lose 4 or 5 games and still be at the top.
But he was just so good.
He's just so good. Like, what are you going to do?
Okay. At Arkansas.
Oh, loss.
at LSU,
Loss.
at Missouri.
Win.
That's a really tough 3-game stretch, I think.
That's rough, dog. that's
That's a really tough 3-game stretch.
that's super
All
rough.
right, real quick, score update. Bottom of the 5th, Tech brought in 2. It is now 2-0 Tech. As we go to the top of the 6th.
All right.
So, let's finish this out. Home versus South Carolina.
I think they pull that out of South Carolina. I don't think South Carolina really is ready for A&M at night.
Okay, and then they play their annual. We like to play losers game against Sanford,
That's a win.
and then at Texas.
That's a loss.
So what is that? Let's see. You had 1, 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 3-3. You said lost at Arkansas.
Yeah, at night. Yeah, it's a
3-4, 3-5, 4-5, 5-6. They're basically a 500 team. 6-6 is what you basically had them at.
yeah. They have a tough.
So you think they get worse from last year to this year? Because last year they finished 8-4.
They're playing home. They're playing home and homes. So the games that they were playing at home the previous year, they now have to travel to. I don't know if that team is really a good road team.
Yeah. I mean, did they win a lot of road games last year? Who did they beat on the road last year?
You would have to go back and look. If you think about it, if you
lost at South Carolina, they lost at Auburn. Yeah, I guess a lot of their games, a lot of the games they won were at home.
Bro, and you know what else is crazy? Not to cut you off. These teams are getting better.
Yeah.
The
only big road game they won last year was at Florida.
Was that when DJ Lagway was hurt?
DJ Lagway wasn't even the starter. It was the 3rd game of the season.
Yeah. No, absolutely not, bro. DJ Lagway, listen, DJ Lagway, Nussmeier, what's his name at Penn State?
Drew Aller.
Dog, it's gonna Arch. It's gonna be. This year is gonna be.
You know my hot take for the year.
What?
That Garrett Nussmeier is the best quarterback in the country.
I
love Garrett Nussmeier.
I
don't know what it is about him, but I love Garrett Nussmeier.
Every now and then, LSU will come out with a quarterback. You'd be like, I like that guy.
Yeah. I think he's going to be better than Cade Klubnik.
Oh.
And Cade Klubnik looked like he took a step. I think by season's end, he's going to be better than Cade Klubnik.
Oh, okay. I can't wait to see that. Oh, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Yeah, I can't wait to watch football, dog.
Listen, there have been flashes of Garrett Nussmeier last year where I was like, "Damn, that dude is good.
He can ball. He can ball. He can throw the."
But then there's also been clips of Garrett Nussmeier. I'm like, what is he doing? But you could have said that about a lot of quarterbacks last year.
Yeah, there was some
quarterback play across the country was not very good last year.
No,
it was not very good last year. So. Yeah, no, I think it's fair to say that. Listen, we'll dive into this as the summer continues. And I'm really interested. Auburn at 14. Like, if Jackson Arnold takes a step, I think that's a bad look on Brent Venables because they basically made a 5-star quarterback look really bad. And so we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens. There's there's always a lot of SEC schools on here. Obviously, I think DJ Lagway is going to be really, really good in Florida, but Florida's schedule is so tough. Tennessee at 10 is also interesting to me because they don't have Nico.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know what that team's going to be anymore. Like, they're basically like in the middle of the night started over.
Right.
So that's really interesting to me. We don't know who Notre Dame's quarterback is going to be. We don't know who Alabama's quarterback is going to be.
We have no idea.
Stockton Gunnar Stockton at Georgia looks meh, right?
I think Gunnar will be okay.
He's not. He's a 5-star quarterback that doesn't play like a 5-star quarterback.
But okay, so to be fair with Gunnar Stockton, he is definitely a scrambler. How long is that going to last in the SEC? We don't necessarily know because
You better watch out for Michael Taft this year.
You're gonna get rocked. You're gonna get rocked, and you know, hopefully he put on some weight. You know, he put on some muscle because again, dog,
That dude suffered a concussion on that play, and I still believe it to this day.
he got rocked a couple times in that game that he played in, and again, listen, kudos to him. He kept playing, but he definitely suffered some trauma to the dome. So,
For
but
sure.
yeah.
All right, Tim. Well, we'll get out of here with that. There's top of the 6th. So I know there's some other stuff we want to chat about. I know both of us want to catch the end of this game. I know Longhorn Nation wants to catch the end of this game. Hopefully we don't have to go to a game 3. But before we get out of here, any final thoughts?
No, you can catch me at Tim Wayne at Longhorn Fan Battle Podcast and at Longhorn Fan Battle on TikTok. Did we score?
Speaking of the demon, Mia Scott with the solo home run.
Oh my
It's
god.
now 2-1.
2-1. Okay. Yeah. You can
2-1.
find me you can find me at all of our platforms, and you can find me on my own at Tim Wayne.
Awesome. My name is Coach Gandhi. This is my guy, Tim Wayne. Find me at the Uncle Gandhi. Find us both at LH Fan Battle. We're both out of here. My name's Reese, just my guy, Tim Wayne. We out of here. Peace.
Let's go, Lady Longhorns. Let's get this.